Again today, and what I'm going to bring to you now is my budget gaming PC setup. So first off, we'll start with the monitor I've got. This is the BenQ GL2450 with a 2 millisecond response time, so it reduces all the lag you get. So once I've moved the character, it's instant, you see it on the screen. It's full HDMI. Obviously I've got that connected up to my graphics card on my computer, and it's a good monitor. I really like it. 24-inch, so it's a perfect size, and I don't need to constantly move my head and my eyes about the screen. I can just focus on it all in one go. Then move on to my speakers. These speakers I've had for, I don't know, probably 5 years. They've done me well. They're Acer make, so they do last. I've got them all plugged in, but obviously, yeah, I don't think they're actually working right now. But I think it's just the cable needs plugged into the back of the computer. Onto my desk is just a normal standard computer desk. So I'm not going to have space in my house to get a bigger one. Hopefully when I move house then I'll have a bit more space. But yeah, it does a job. I don't see people buying all these big desks, big desks. I've got one screen, that's all I need the size for. But once I move up to a couple more screens, I will get a bigger desk. On my desk I have got my Scotland tankard, which has been used. I've had a couple of beers through it. It does taste good. It tastes better out of a tankard, I reckon. But yeah, obviously me being Scottish and all, I love it. And on the other side I've got my wind up Dalek toy that I got for Christmas as a wee joke present. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, so I found it quite funny when I got it. Onto my mouse. This is I believe it's a Razer K Scorpion. I don't know if I'm wrong, comment guys. So I've had it for about 2 years, so I can't actually remember the make. It's got adjustable DPI setting on the mouse. It's got the front scroll wheel and 2 side buttons, so I've got them mapped on some of the games, so I don't need to keep moving to the keyboard. I can just quickly press it. It's a good size. Obviously I do have fairly biggish hands, so it fits in my hand alright. And yeah, so that's my mouse, and it's got these blue LEDs now, so it lights up blue, which is pretty cool and dark. Moving on to my keyboard. It's just a normal Logitech K120. Nothing fancy here guys, just a generic keyboard. Does the same job as everything else I guess. So I only really need to use the WSD, don't I? A&D, and all that. A couple of more buttons, but I don't see the point in getting a big fancy keyboard right now. I'll probably will end up getting one eventually. Moving down, I've got a wee shelf, but a couple of cables. I think it's for 2 cables for my printer. I've got my Airsoft Action, old copy of Airsoft Action, and I've got Airsoft International somewhere as well, because I've seen with other videos I do like Airsoft. So that's the desk, and so we'll move on to my PC itself. Like I say, this was a budget build. So the case, I can't remember the make of it, but I will put it in the description below once I figure it out. But yeah, I still need to screw in a couple of things like my disk drive. I've not screwed that in properly yet. But on the top, we've got obviously the reset button, your power button, and the flash indicator. I believe that's for the hard drive. Can't remember. It's got slot for SD cards, or SD, MMC and MS cards. It's got 2 2.0 USB ports, and it's also got your microphone and your headset port as well. So with them two, so that's connected up to my headset, which I'll show you in a minute. I do have an Xbox 360 wire controller for the PC if I ever wanted, if I play like Battlefield or Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on the PC. I'd prefer the controller and the keyboard and mouse. On the side panel, say when I had my Xbox 360, I had Turtle Beach headsets, so I had the stickers. So I've put them on. Yep. So we'll move around to the side. It does light up. Don't know if you can see, but it does light up purple. You know, it's a bit blue in the video. It does light up purple. On the side, it's got this side vent with its manual switch. But obviously I've got kids, and they managed to get, when it was open, they managed to get in and break the cable for the, because it's got two fans in the mesh bit here, which I'll show you in a minute. But the cable, my daughter managed to snap it off, as you can see. So there's two fans there. All he does is get a replacement cable and get it connected up. So inside, it's fairly neat inside. But obviously once I get more components, then I'll need to do some cable management. But storage wise, I've went with the Seagate 1TB. I will be getting a couple more, probably 2TB and another 1TB, just so I've got more storage. The graphics card wise, I went with the nividia GT640, I believe it is. I know it's not a high-end graphics card, but it does a job. It runs Battlefield 4, no problem. It runs DayZ on very high settings. I can play Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty, so it's a good graphics card if you can play in modern games. It has got an AMD processor, which I can't actually remember, but I'll get back to you in the description or at the end of the video once I check on my system. The motherboard is the Gigabyte, as you can see there. So Gigabyte GA74, I think it was. Like I say, I got this 2 years ago, so I can't actually remember the full details, guys. But yeah, so there's my CPU cooler. It's actually pretty quiet for as well. But usually once I start playing games, it does get a bit noisy, so I will be getting probably a quieter system. On the back, it's got the extractor fan. So that's just blown out all the cold air. So there. And then my power supply unit. It's nothing fancy. It's just a normal, cheap power supply unit. So it's, yeah, just all connected to the back, and yeah, it does a job. I will be replacing it probably with a Corsair. I might go for a 750, and obviously at the back of it's got the ports for your speakers, your headphones, and that. It's got, obviously on top you've got, I don't know if you can see that. Let me just turn that camera around. Two 2.0 USB slots. Got the old, I think is that the mouse or is that the keyboard slot? It's got the VGA slots. It's got its own HDMI slot because obviously it's got a HD graphics card into the motherboard. It's got a one USB 3.0. And it's got some more USB slots. It's got quite a lot of USB slots in this motherboard, which is good. And then obviously the Ethernet port, which is how I'm using to connect to my internet. So I've not got space in the system for a wireless card, which I do have. But once I get a new motherboard, then hopefully I've got space for that. And then obviously the back of the graphics card, it's got its VGA cables, it's got a HDMI cable, which was what my monitor's hooked up with. Just so I get that bit better visual, you know. So I'll leave that there and go back, and I'll see if I can get into my system, and I'll let you guys know what is the processor. So let's see. Oh yeah, I meant to say about the RAM, so I'll go back to that. It's the AMD, so the processor in there is the AMD FX 410 quad-core processor, so 4.20 gigahertz. So it's an alright processor, and but I will probably change it out and go. I might try and get an i7 Intel i7, and do all that. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, so obviously I've got the 4 RAM slots in there. I do have 4 RAM slots, but obviously I've got 2 8 gigabytes. Don't know the make of them, but 2 8 gigabytes, I've got 16 gigabytes, I've got enough memory, so my computer won't slow down. But yeah, that's my budget PC build. I think overall when I bought it 2 years ago, I think it was about £340 I got off eBay. And the only thing I've replaced in it is a hard drive. I had to buy a new hard drive for it because my old one got corrupted. And the graphics card I changed out. The graphics card itself I think was 70, and my new hard disk was my hard drive was I think 40. So overall it's just under £400 that I spent on it. Obviously I will be getting some more components for it. But yeah, I hope you do like my gaming setup, and I will put links into my channels and some of the parts where I got obviously where I got the PC from, and where I got my parts from in the future. So hope you enjoyed. So like, comment and subscribe guys, and I'll catch you later.